Welcome to Lifestyles with Terry Lynn. I was just listening to some gypsy jazz music from New Orleans, and it is copyright free. I was enjoying that. Today we're going to talk some more about the Bohemian lifestyle, and we're going to explore the core value truth and how Bohemians live this kind of life in truth. Truth is the quality or state of being true, facing life the way it actually is, taking an honest approach in dealing with life's problems and situations. Truth is being accurate, true to life, and telling it like it is. A person with a bohemian mindset is authentic and genuine. True to themselves, they accept global awareness and will stand firm in what they believe in human rights, in respect to human rights, and environmental preservation. If they are unable to express their genuine feelings through outward speech, which I have a problem with, anyone that knows me, they will express it through poetry, art, and music. Now, who am I thinking of? Vincent Van Gogh. He expressed the way he felt, his genuine feelings. He expressed it through art and painting. And this became his whole life. This is what he wanted to be, It was amazing that he could create such art, but he put so much time and effort into it. It's like he just put himself onto those paintings. He did a lot of self-portraits also. And it's just amazing when I look at this man and I see that he went through so many struggles because he had been abandoned. He felt abandoned because his parents named him after an older son that had died when he was a baby. And he just felt like he could never make his parents happy, and he went into art as an art dealer originally because his grandfather was an art dealer. And many people in his family were art dealers and they sold art. But he wanted to do more than that. He wanted to paint, and it just consumed him so much. But we'll talk more about that and other bohemians. So we're going to explore all this. We'll look back at Vincent Van Gogh's art and his compassion for peasants and working class people struggling to make ends meet. Now, I can only show you what is copyright free through Pixabay. So I've got to be real careful. Now, if I actually purchase a book with his artwork, I can show you that. Pretty sure pictures of that. I just don't want to get any copyright strikes against me. I got to be real careful. I have to explain some more things about Vincent Van Gogh. He felt abandoned because his parents shipped him off to a boarding school, and he was not happy there. And he campaigned to come home, and they wouldn't let him. He was a serious and a quiet child, and he wasn't outgoing. He was the oldest. They just expected more from him. And he was introverted. And they wanted him to be extroverted. And they had a lot of other kids after him that were more outgoing and happy-go-lucky. And he just wasn't like that. He was different. So they didn't quite understand him. So I guess there was some family friction there. So that explains it. And his younger brother ended up supporting him later in life when he had his struggles. I think I did mention that already, though. Yeah. Being true to life, I believe that bohemians are as honest as you're going to get, because they're very honest people to begin with. They do not like to spread false rumors. They do not like to deceive. They are not deceivers. Most of them are so honest, you wouldn't believe. They would rather not say anything than to say something negative. They're just genuine good people, in my opinion, the ones that I have explored and researched about. And I understand it because I have this mindset. I have the bohemian mindset. And I'm as truthful as you're going to get as being a person that I have strong convictions about things. And I don't care, I don't care about fitting in with people that are rich or people that are famous, or I'm not trendy. So I can understand what Vincent Van Gogh went through. When he worked with the art dealers, they wanted to just make money any way they could. And they didn't care if the art was actually good. It could be replicas of famous works, and they would sell it for more money than what it was actually worth. And that really bothered Vincent Van Gogh because he believed in truth and being genuine and not falsifying the paintings just to make money. He did not like monetizing. Commoditizing, he did not like that. And he argued with the art dealers that he worked with. So he had a lot of conflicts there for standing up for what he believed in. That's what bohemians do. They stand up for what they believe in, and they don't back down very easily. And they're not out to impress people. They're out to experience life the way that they feel it should be experienced. It's really hard to explain, but it is a fascinating lifestyle. And if you have this mindset, it can be boggling at times. It can be frustrating and confusing because you're in a world that is materialistic. And people are out for themselves. They're selfish people, where a person of the Bohemian mindset is selfless, a selfless person. The only way they can be selfish is selfish with their time, because it's a safe place. They can spend their time doing something that is meaningful to them instead of being in the harsh world. So that reality is hard for them to face. But they know truth, and they do face truth, but they do avoid truth. And I know this personally. In other words, Bohemians face truth within themselves, but they avoid the harsh realities of the world around them that deals in greed, materialism, worldliness, conflict, wars. It's hard for them to be around all that. And so many of them, like myself, have studied about religion, and he also did. Van Gogh, I just feel I have a lot in common with him because he studied to be a minister, and he memorized passages from the Bible and everything. And I've done that in the past. So he was finding himself through art and religion. And he didn't get along with people, their viewpoints, as far as studying to be a minister. He had conflicts with people. And maybe so many of them, they may have been fake. Yeah. And I have met Christians that were fake also, and they were in it for the money. So you see that a lot. And I think he saw that. And he was such a genuine person in his heart that he couldn't be around that. So he moved to Paris, and he found other artists that he could have something in common with. And that made him feel comfortable. Then he traveled to another region in France, and he wanted to start a commune where people would, complete art together. They would study art together. And so he explored many things, but he had bouts of depression off and on, and delusions and psychological problems. He was always a light eater and a frugal eater. So he may have had a chemical imbalance. That's what I'm thinking. It was quite possible. So when he had malnutrition right before he passed away. So he didn't realize that he was depleting himself of the nutrients he needed in his diet to have a healthy mental outlook in life. This affected him mentally. So that was part of it. And I understand that, because there were times when I actually dieted, and it affected my moods. I had mood swings, and when I didn't eat properly, or times, and I've been through a lot of life struggles financially also, where I didn't have enough money to spend on food. Well, he had so many things he was really engrossed in the art, that he just put it aside. And he chose to, if he wanted to, some form of escape, he would often drink. He would drink alcohol. And he hung out with other artists that did the same thing. So he went into a world that was in a place that was not healthy. Yeah. And it took its toll on him. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, but there's so much more to him. So much more I could never even find out because he lived so many years ago. But I really admire his art. We're going to look at some of his art of the peasants that he really admired because they worked so hard and they were real genuine people. And I admire people like that, like people in homesteading and people that work on farms and people that work with their hands, and they build houses and they bake bread and they do so many things that are down to earth, things that you would see done in the biblical times, and not so much like I said, the materialism, the commercialism of today that's ruining our planet, and ruining our generations of people and steering them in the wrong direction. And he could see that even back then where the world was going. And it is depressing. But you got to stay healthy. And food is very important. That's helped me along the line of keeping my mental health and everything. So. So I believe Vincent Van Gogh had a love of people and their struggles in life. So he really admired the peasants who worked the land. And he even admired prostitutes who were trying to just survive. And some of them may have had children that they needed to support. So the last portrait you saw was probably a prostitute. She was considered a peasant or low income person. And I couldn't get the facts of that particular portrait, but I believe that she may have been a prostitute because he did paint portraits of prostitutes. So he connected with people that were poor. He understood them, even though he came from a wealthy family. He came from a prominent family. He just could not relate to those people, to the wealthy people of the world for some reason. And I can understand that also. And once you've studied, like the Bible, for example, it's hard and you really believe it and you accept it into your heart as truth. It's hard to look at the world in the same way that you did maybe before you grasped the truth from the Bible. And it just changes you. So that religion may have changed him. And so that may be part of it also. Religion has its ups and downs, and spirituality is something that is mysterious. And he may have had that conflict in his mind. And I can understand that perfectly, what he may have gone through. So those were some examples of his art. And we'll show more of his artwork during this Bohemian Lifestyle series. But there's also other artists and other bohemians in history, that people of the Bohemian lifestyle. Because if I say they're Bohemian, you might think I mean they're from that country of Bohemia. That's not what I mean. All right. Mark Twain, Walt Whitman, Ada Agnes, and Edgar Allan Poe. They also were of the Bohemian mindset. We'll talk more about them as we explore this series. And I hope you enjoyed it. And the next core value we're going to talk about will be beauty. And there's a lot. That's going to take more than one video, I'm sure, because beauty is amazing. The beauty in art, the beauty in music, the beauty in poetry, and just the outdoors and someone's love of nature. There's lots of people of this Bohemian mindset that are fascinated with Mother Nature in itself. And we'll talk about that coming up. Okay, God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next one.